Hereford's former player of the season saw the light and joined Kidderminster Harriers in the summer. Injury hit. We've had to wait a while to get him the red and white halves, but he's back and joins us on the final word. Hello, Tom. Hello, mate.
Hi mate, how are you? You okay?
Mate, I'm absolutely buzzing to have you on, and I've got the new shirt behind me as well. I need to put it in a frame or something, but there you go. It needs to be signed. To be fair, that would do, wouldn't it? Before we get into the questions, I want to take you to what happened on New Year's Day, because if you weren't there, people will be like, "Well, what did he do on New Year's Day?" But I want you to explain to me, go through the goal. Is that okay? Is that
Yeah,
okay?
yeah,
We'll
of
go for
course.
the goal. Right. Okay. So here it is. So this, can you see the goal?
Yeah, it's up now.
Can
I've
you
got
see
you.
the video? Right. Okay. So Tom Owen-Evans is here. This is you. You're going to come in at a rate of about 100 miles an hour and seal the
Not
ball,
sure it's
right?
that fast.
So you've won the ball. What are your thoughts now?
Uh, just to get up and obviously I've seen that Caleb's got the ball, so
Yeah.
just sort of get in the box and yeah, see if I can get on the end of something.
Exactly. Well, he passes to Bean.
Morgs is there. Great finish.
And then there goes M&S with his celebration right in front of the
Yeah.
fans. Okay, right in front of the fans. They can have it, lads. But then, what are you thinking? What's your thoughts right now? You're like, oh, I'm in terrible country here. I don't know what to do. Did you just
Yeah.
like lose
Well,
it or what?
well, a bit vulnerable there, aren't we? Sort of just, and Morgs
Yeah,
obviously chosen to celebrate straight in front of them, so
yeah.
I sort of just embraced it and I think they were singing this. Didn't realize they had so many songs about me. To be fair, they sang about 10 in the first half, which I can't
Nice.
repeat. So
Oh,
I
well,
thought
you
a little
can,
bit,
you can. I'll just put a warning on the beginning, but yeah, you can repeat.
was a little
So
bit of payback to me there. So I sort of just stood there with my arms across.
sorry, you're saying, and there's the hands go up like in your
Yeah,
face.
and then you see a few not very happy Hereford fans that sort of giving me the
Were,
finger and that.
were you were you friends with any of these guys? Any of these fans?
Um,
Anyone you know?
I had a good relationship with the fans there. To be fair,
Yeah.
and I do, to be fair, still get messages off some fans sort of saying, "I think it's horrible how we've treated you," sort of thing, and
Oh,
not everyone thinks that way, but obviously there is a few that do sort of resent me as such.
yeah. Once you leave a club, I don't. They can be as nice as you like, but no, I don't think so. So you've got arms in the air, like you just don't care.
I know then it's like,
Yes.
yeah,
Can I just say your hair is looking extra special there, Tom? To be fair.
yeah. Well, I think it's because I was on a bundle on the floor, but
That's fair enough. That's yeah, that works. That works for me. So thank you so much for letting us know about that. I appreciate that one. Right,
no
okay.
problem.
It's okay. Right. So let's go into some questions then. Can we let's talk about you talk about the abuse you got. That's fine. Do you thrive on the abuse, Tom? What do you think?
Yeah, for me, I sort of, like you said, thrive off it. I sort of, I for me, obviously, it's easy to say it, but I get up more for a game when you're sort of playing in front of bigger crowds, sort of thing. That's why you play football at the end of the day.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, so I sort of like that bit of banter between fans, players, sort of thing. That yeah, you can really thrive off and sort of get. Well, I get myself going off that anyway.
Absolutely. So Tom, let's go back to the beginning. You started off at Newport County. What do you remember from that time?
So well, I was at Bristol City for 7 years as a young lad from 7 to 14.
Yeah.
Got released at 14 because I was too small. Um, and you go from like 14 to 16s then, so you sort of don't play with you're sort of playing up a year, should I
Yeah.
say? And they basically said that at the moment you're too small physically to sort of not strong enough, and we don't think you'll play. So we think it's better if you sort of go elsewhere and play football there. So I just played locally in Bristol and sort of at a development centre called North Somerset for 2 years. Played against Newport County because they weren't they were only sort of a centre of excellence at that time.
Yep.
Played against Newport, scored, and they invited me in for a trial just to sort of go because they had like a college
Yeah.
program sort of thing at the time because
Mhm.
they were still in the conference at that point. Um, anyway, went in for the trial. They said they wanted to sign me, and that year they then got promoted through the playoffs to the Football League. So
Wow.
then it was the first year that they could then offer scholars
Yep.
as a professional club sort of thing, and they offered me one. So it sort of
Wow.
timing worked out perfectly. Um,
Excellent.
yeah, and it's only sort of 25 minutes, half an hour down the road from Bristol. So yeah, started really well there. To be fair, I was sort of a first year scholar with the youth team, then my second year scholar.
Yeah.
I was pretty much up with the first team, sort of as a 17-year-old for the whole season. Made my debut, the last game of the season at York away there. Then signed my pro contract that summer. Um, then we had Terry Butcher come in as manager, and he sort of had a sort of reduced budget to work with, so he sort of threw a lot of the young players in, and
Yeah.
I played quite a few games. I started that season sort of playing most of the games.
Yeah.
Um, he got sacked, then we had sort of manager after manager after manager. So I sort of think I had 7 managers in 5 years or something stupid.
Wow.
Um, yeah, so it was hard to settle, but I sort of racked up quite a lot of games. Sort of had a couple of loans here and there, only for sort of a month or so. But
Yeah.
yeah, like love my time there. It's a really good club and sort of yeah, really sort of got me on my path to where I am now.
Nice. How did you end up at Falkirk? Did you annoy your agent? What happened there?
It's a bit of a mad one, really. Like I said, I had a couple of loans, and I actually went on loan to Truro, which is obviously in Cornwall, sort of end of the world, it sort of seems.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, but so I went on loan to Truro in the Conference South, my last year at Newport, I believe, and we played Hampton and Richmond away um, in London, and I scored a header that day. And at the end of the season, Newport, I still had another year left of my deal, and they basically said that you can leave even though you've got another year.
Yeah.
Um, and basically was just sat there sort of in the summer. Obviously, was going to report back to Newport, but sort of trying to sort things out. And I had
Yeah.
a call off my agent who basically said, random one, but I've just had Falkirk ring me and get in touch with you. Like, what do you think? And for me, I was sort of 21, 22, and I was like, yeah, let's go for it. I want to do it. Sort of help me grow up and move away and such and such. So yeah, it's sort of mad that I was at Newport in Wales
Yeah.
playing for Truro in Cornwall, and it was that game that they come to. That's how it links. It was that game that
Wow.
they come to for Truro.
Did you
Um,
ever eat a battered Mars bar?
I didn't, but there's actually there's a Scottish son. So when I signed there, the
Yeah.
manager was Paul Hartley, who was at Bristol City. So it was like it was sort of a thing for me that they'd done a thing in the Scottish Sun. There's a big photo of me in haggis, and
Wow.
it was sort of like the gaffer signed a ball for me back in the day. So I
Yeah.
did a nice sign for him, sort of thing. Is a funny thing, but yeah, haggis weren't too bad to be fair.
That's yeah. Do you know what? It's not bad. Did you become addicted to Iron Brew, which isn't bad also? Quite like
I
Iron Brew.
didn't really drink iron brew, no. I've had
Yeah.
it before, but no.
It was like the original energy drink, I think. There's so much
Yeah,
sugar.
yeah.
Right,
It's not bad, but
let's
I wouldn't drink it all the time.
yeah. Right. You eventually saw the light and you headed to Kidderminster Harriers to Agborough. How did that deal go down and what did you know about Harriers before you signed?
Well, obviously I knew quite a bit. Obviously the affiliation Hereford, Kidderminster. I'd been at Hereford. I think it was 4 years, but obviously we sort of had. I joined halfway through one season, then we had two COVID seasons. So
Yeah.
last year was actually my only full season there. It sort of seems mad, but it was. Um, so yeah, I knew quite a bit about them sort of through playing against them. Obviously, the rival. There's always a lot of fans playing
Yeah.
at Edgar Street sort of thing.
Yeah.
And obviously, we sort of played quite a lot of time. We played 3 times last year, didn't we? Obviously, with a trophy and things like that.
Yeah.
So yeah, I knew a fair bit. But yeah, I knew quite a bit, but I didn't sort of realise how good a setup it was until I sort of went down to meet the gaffer and Jimmy.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, my agent just said that Kidderminster are interested, so we went up to Agborough and seen them one day without sort of nothing was agreed sort of thing, just as a sort of chat to sort of like see where I was and where they were, and they showed me around the ground, took me down to the training ground, showed me that, and it sort of really opened my eyes and my agent's eyes as well, because at this level, it's sort of I don't think there's really many clubs that sort of can compete with sort of the facilities and the setup that the club has. And it was a massive eye opener for me, and I always wanted to get back into full-time football, and that was a sort of a big, I've said before, is a sort of big reason as to why I joined. And yeah, like this, they sold the club to me that day, really.
Nice, that's excellent. We should do more of that. Sell the club to more people. That'd be excellent. Right. So I spoke to your gaffer, Russ Penn, and this was a couple of nights ago. And I said, Russ, I've got Tom on. And he's like, right, okay. I said, have you got any questions I should ask him or anything you want me to tell him? And he said, yeah, get your hair cut.
He said that.
He said that.
A few times to me, to be fair. He said, I want you to just come in with a shaven head.
Yeah.
I said, not sure whether that's going to happen, gaffer, but yeah. He's a bit long at the moment. I could do with a trim.
Yeah, but the thing is, though, if I think Russ would love it if everyone in the squad was bald. I think he'd love it. I think, to be fair, that'd be the way he'd go. There you go. Right, Tom, excellent. Thank you so much for that. You get called Toe, right? You get called Toe because people are bored, people are lazy. Tom Owen-Evans, but you've got a middle name, haven't you, Tom?
I do, yeah. Yeah, my obviously sort of people get confused because Owen's sort of a first name as well.
Yeah.
I get called everything. I get called Tom Evans Owens, Tom Owens Evans, Evans Owens. So yeah, I've been called Toey since I was sort of 10 years old, and it's just stuck. But yeah, I do have a middle name, which is George.
George. So technically, it's To Go. That's what it would be. That's what it should be. Is everyone called you To Go?
Yeah. Got lazy, didn't we?
Okay, so do you remember your first pair of football boots? I asked this question to every person, and do you still have them?
I do remember I'm not sure what the brand was, but they were sort of, this is probably 20 years ago now, probably even longer. And it was sort of a black pair of AstroTurfs with like a green arrow in the middle. I don't know whether the brand was Arrow or not, but I wouldn't have them now. No.
No, they got sold. It's a shame.
Mum and Dad threw them out time ago. Yeah.
It's obviously he's not gonna make it. It's fine. Throw him away. It's fine. And you did. So well done, you. The best match you've ever played in, Tom, and it won't be Harriers because the best is yet to come from you, like when you score on Saturday. So there you go. So what's the best match
I've played in?
Yeah.
Obviously I scored at Wembley in the trophy final, which was incredible.
Yeah, that's amazing.
That was an incredible moment. Obviously, we lost the game. That was at Hereford. We lost 3-1 in the end, but to go 1-0 up sort of at Wembley and score was an amazing achievement for myself, sort of something that you can tell the grandkids. You know what I mean? Not everyone scores at Wembley, so that was lovely.
How many fans were there?
Well, it was as we were coming out of COVID, so there was only sort of 2,500 for each team allowed, which was a shame. But it was sort of one of the first games where they were allowed back in, so it was better than none. Do you know what I mean?
Absolutely. Yeah.
I've played quite a few sort of Fratton Park away for Portsmouth.
Yep.
Where there's sort of like 19,000 there. The Molyneux and away at Wolves.
Yeah.
For Newport, they both were. They're sort of two that stick out with sort of big stadiums, good atmosphere. But my best moment is probably scoring at Wembley. Yeah.
It would be amazing if when you're at Falkirk, if they'd been played like Celtic away and Rangers away.
I know, yeah.
That would have been brilliant.
Oh, yeah, unfortunately, I didn't get that chance. But yeah, you see, I watched the Old Firm derby. Was it Monday?
Yeah, it was a couple of days ago, I think. Yeah.
Yeah, and just atmosphere is unbelievable.
Yeah, that is proper bow.
Very passionate, aren't they?
Yeah, absolutely. So that they are in Kidderminster as well.
I know. Yeah, I'm not saying that.
Not on that scale. Yeah, I know, Tom. I know. Do you have a Premier League team that you support, or maybe a like Madrid or Barcelona or something? And who was your idol growing up?
So I'm a big Arsenal fan.
Okay, they're doing well.
Went to the Forest game earlier in the season. They played on a Sunday, so went up to that. So yeah, big Arsenal fan. Who's my idol growing up? Messi and Ronaldo.
Really?
Yeah. I when I was younger, I used to like Ronaldo, just because I sort of loved how he sort of expressed himself on the, not when he's sort of like the number nine he is now, but sort of when he
Yeah.
was like first come on the scene at Man United and he's sort of trying everything.
Yeah.
I love to watch him just because he excited me back in the day when I was sort of 7, 8, 9, 10 growing up. Um, but I think that's probably because I wasn't old enough to sort of appreciate Messi at that time. Um,
Yeah.
now I've grown up and I sort of football's my life. For me, Messi is the greatest I've ever seen. The things that he does, there's no one in the world that can do that. So I'd have to put him up there as well.
Up there as well. Yeah, very good. Mine was when I was a kid. I supported Liverpool as a kid, and I'm sure Robbie Fowler or Steve McManaman would have been my favourites. Do you even know
Yeah,
who they are, Tom?
I do. Yeah, yeah. I do have decent football knowledge to be fair. So, but
Right on.
yeah, obviously I'm an Arsenal fan because I grew up sort of when I first started watching football is the Invincibles,
Oh
2000.
wow! Oh,
So
what a time to be alive, man! Alive.
yeah, that's what I mean. That's why I'm an Arsenal fan. So, Henry and Perez
Yes.
and Reyes and Vieira, all those.
Do you remember Burkamp? Remember
Bergkamp, yeah,
Yeah.
proper player, yeah.
He didn't like planes, but he was a proper player. He couldn't go anywhere on
Yeah,
a plane, but he was a great
I know.
player.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Um, so this is a great question. This is my favorite question, I think. So Russ Penn, you know him, yeah, he's your boss. Russ says because of the hat trick against Leamington that you're going to get on Saturday, you can eat whatever you want Saturday night. Calories do not count. What are you having?
Um, I love chicken. I do like fried chicken, but to be fair, my favorite sort of food is Italian, really. I love sort of pasta, pizza, those sort of things. So to be fair, I'd probably go for a sort of nice chicken pasta, something like that. I know that's probably not what you're expecting. You want me to say sort of, I do like a burger as well, partial to a burger maybe if you want me to push the boat out.
Yeah.
If I go out for food at a restaurant, I usually go for a nice burger. But
Well,
Italian's my food. That's what I'd
let me
say.
tell you. Let me tell you. The last person I spoke to was Caleb, and he said exactly the same. He said, I love pasta. And I was like, okay, fine. So he wanted pasta as well. That was nice. But everyone before him, they've all said Chinese. Everyone
Chinese,
said,
I do like that as my favorite takeaway.
yeah,
Um, I would say Chinese. If I go
absolutely.
out, maybe a burger. But I do enjoy Italian as well.
Yeah, it's quality. Right. So there you go. That's what you're having. And what
I've
would you
given
have?
you three there, not one. But
Yeah, I
yeah,
know
I'm
that's.
all
I
three.
guess that's fine. So yeah, that's what you're having. What would you wash it down with? Would you have a cheeky beer or are you a Lucasade guy or
To be fair, I'm mostly just a water person, really. Apart from that, I drink coffee. I love coffee. Um, so yeah, I drink black coffee. I can drink it at sort of 9 o'clock at night, and it does nothing to me because I have it so
Wow.
much. But yeah, a coffee is sort of my favorite drink. But apart from that, it's mostly water. To be fair.
So so wait till you get over 30 and then your body starts adapting to these things and starts waking you up at stupid times of the night.
Yeah,
Honestly, it's perfect. It's really good.
can't wait.
Um so it's been fantastic, Tom. It really has been fantastic. It's been great speaking to you. Last question. So it's called the final word, Tom. Oh, I normally say to people, I say, look, if you is there anything you could possibly give to Harriers Hotline, which is a group I run on Facebook to give away? Shane Byrne gave me a pair of his boots signed. Look at those. What size
Love
boot
that.
are you?
I'm at 8.
You're an 8. What is it
Yeah.
with our footballers? They've got really small feet. Actually, Shane's a 10, to be fair. He's quite tall as well, isn't he, Shane? Yeah, so I always try and get free stuff out of people. Amari, AMS, said that I could go for a Starbucks with him on a Wednesday.
Nice.
maybe Joey's
Not
golf
bad
course.
that.
All right. Oh, that's not bad. I don't think you say he was paying, though. He wasn't going to pay. He was just going to
I
turn
know,
up.
yeah. Tight
I
as a
know.
worm's nostril, Morgs.
Yeah, really.
I'm joking. I hope he sees that though.
Obviously, yeah. So I was thinking maybe you wear a headband, don't you, when you play?
I have done, yeah. I haven't recently, but I do have. It's black. That's the only thing. Can't really sign that.
If you get a white pen there, you could sign it.
Could do, yeah.
I mean, let's give people hope here, Tom. Come on,
I know,
come
yeah.
on. Maybe we'll chat about it later. That's fine. Right. So this is called the final word, which I do just to bring the players close to the fans and vice versa. And it's your chance, Tom, to give your message to the Kidderminster Harriers fans, and just say whatever you want.
Hi guys, Tom Owen-Evans here. I know it's sort of not probably been the season that you had been hoping for after the successful one last year. But all of us appreciate your support. And we're going into the new year now, ready to kick on, and everyone's sort of in the same boat where we want to push, and everyone has the same aspirations for the club, and there's a lot of potential, and all the boys are trying as hard as they can to push the club in that direction. You've probably not seen the best of me yet. Well, I know you haven't. Obviously, certain things out of my hands with injury and things like that, but I feel like I'm getting back to where I should be, and hopefully I can start scoring some goals and creating chances and setting other boys up. We can start, like I said, pushing up the table. Yeah, that's it really.
Thank you
for your support. Yeah.
Thanks, mate, for coming on. Just before you go, so my dream of you scoring on Saturday is this: there's a long ball in from Caleb to AMS. AMS wins the header, touches it down before it hits the floor. You're straight in there with a volley, bang, top of the net. Thank you very much. Top bins.
I'd be absolutely delighted with that.
And if you do, how are you going to celebrate when you score? Can you give us a celebration, please? Can you do that for Harriers Hotline? Can you do that?
Was it that?
Yeah, just that. Yeah, that's supposed to be a H for Harriers Hotline.
If I score Saturday, I'll absolutely do that for you.
Oh, amazing. Get in. Thank you so much, Tom. It's been great speaking to you, buddy.
No problem at all, mate. Really enjoyed it.
Cheers,
Thank you.
See you
man.
soon.
All the best, all right.